welcome back to my Mexican kitchen here in Switzerland. Today I have a recipe that for those of you who grew up in a Mexican family and you went to a lot of kids parties, whether you were when you were little or now that you have children, this is something that is always in those parties. I mean always, 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 and it's the Mosaic Jello. If you don't know it by that name, it's the one that has a lot of different colors and it's hugged inside milk jello. It looks beautiful, and I always remember getting them in these little disposable cups, and then you'd have all the kids lining up and handing out the jellos and the big smiles, and it's just a really nice recipe, so I hope you guys enjoy it. So the ingredients you guys need to make your Mosaic Jello are, I'm first going to tell you in order of the prepackaged Jello brand Jellos. I'm going to be using 3 Jellos of 25 grams each package, and you basically follow the instructions on the package, whichever brand you use. In my case, on each package I would need 2 cups of hot water and 2 cups of cold water, so I'm using 3 packages, so it's 3 times that. For the milk jello, I need 1 can of condensed milk, 1 can of evaporated milk, 1 cup of milk, half a teaspoon of vanilla, 21 grams of unflavored natural gelatin, half a cup of hot water, and half a cup of cold water. So let's get started. This is a very easy recipe. It's a lot of fun, especially if you do it with little kids. They're gonna love it. They're really gonna enjoy it, and even if there's no little kids, you guys are gonna have a lot of fun. So I'm going to be using 3 packages of Jello. Well, why 3? The more colors you use, the nicer it looks. Also, keep in mind that if you use many colors, your Jello is going to be bigger and bigger and bigger. So it depends if you are going to use it for a party or you just want to have it at home, then you can figure out how many different flavors you want to use. In my case, I'm going to use pineapple, strawberry, and lemon. And what you have to do is follow the instructions on the back of the package of the Jello you're using. These are 25 gram packages, so I picked the smallest ones I could find. And the instructions on these are you have to put 2 cups of hot water to boil. Once it's boiling, you add the Jello and you stir so it doesn't stick to the bottom. Once it's dissolved, you turn off the heat and you add 2 cups of cold water, and you just pour that into a mold. I'll show you guys how to do that after. Also, if it's a boy, like let's say you're doing a birthday party for a boy, for a girl, a baby shower, you guys can be creative with the colors you pick. They make so many flavors and so many different colors that it's up to you guys what you like them in taste or how you want it to look. So let's get started. Dissolving our gelatins, we follow the instructions just as they are on the back of the package. The next part is we have to let our Jello set. So to do that, we're just going to use our everyday normal Tupperwares or whatever kind of anything that you have that resembles this. Especially if you have little ones that aren't so high, it would be much better, because the thing is these Jellos you're going to cut into little cubes. So you don't want high tuppers or high containers, because then the cubes won't be little and it won't look nice. So if you don't have low ones like this, you can use a high one, just don't fill it up. Just do a little bit. And if you have leftover Jello, you can put it in other containers and eat it, or you can drink it as water. It's really nice to be drinking it kind of like a hot tea or hot beverage. I like it like that. So now let's fill up our containers, and then we're going to put them in the refrigerator until they set. It'll be a few hours, so see you guys in a bit. I checked the flavored gelatins in the fridge. They're solid, they're ready to use. So we're going to start with our milk Jello. The first part we have to do is we have to hydrate our unflavored gelatin. So what we have to do is we're going to put half a cup of freezing cold water, as cold as you can get it, in a bowl, and we're going to pour in the unflavored gelatin. In the beginning, it's just the water with the powder, but when it gets solid, when it hydrates, it gets solid. So that's how you're going to know that it worked. the Jello is hydrated. It's solid, it won't move out of the bowl. So the next step is melting it. The first half cup of water was extremely cold, and now we're gonna add half a cup of water of boiling hot water. Once it's melted, we're going to add the 3 different milks in a pan or whatever you're using. The condensed, the evaporated, the normal milk, the half teaspoon of vanilla, and the melted natural Jello. We're going to mix thoroughly with very low heat because the condensed milk is very heavy and it will sink to the bottom and burn. So you have to be mixing very well so that it all integrates. Once it's mixed well, you turn off the heat and you're going to let it sit and cool down to room temperature so that we can pour it onto the other Jellos and it doesn't melt them. It has to be room temperature. Our milk Jello cooled down, it's room temperature, and like I mentioned before, the colored Jellos, they're all solid now. So the next step is the fun part. We're going to cut our Jello into squares. Like I mentioned before, preferably you need it to make really low amounts of Jello so that the squares look nicer and they mix in better. So what we do is we cut down and then sideways to make little squares. And in this case, since this Tupperware is the bigger one, I'm going to use a spoon and scoop everything over here. And then I'm going to give it a mix so that all the colors get mixed in and it looks nicer. And then once they're mixed, I'm going to pour them into my Jello mold. This is the traditional Jello mold. This is probably the most traditional shape there is when you mention Jellos. It's round and it has a little gap in the middle. So I'm going to be using this one. If you don't have a Jello mold, that is not a problem. You can use even a Tupperware. I mean, it's still going to look beautiful, so don't get worried if you don't have the Jello mold. The next step is once all the colors are mixed in, we're going to pour them in here. And then over those, we're going to pour our milk Jello. And after that, we're going to put it in the refrigerator so it gets solid again. Jellos. I'm saying Jellos because I had a bit of extra flavors of all the Jellos, so I made these little ones. So you can make it mosaic like I was showing you. You can make a rainbow one, which is just as pretty. Your imagination is the limit. And here's the one from the video. So as you can see, it's really, really pretty. I love how it looks, and the taste is really nice. So maybe it brings back childhood memories. I mean, some people don't know how to make it. Not everyone knows certain recipes. And other people totally forget about things, and then when you see it again, it's like, oh, I remember that from when I was a kid. So whichever is the case, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, you enjoy making it, and see you next time. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please watch the other videos. Just click on the links, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.